ask you a question. If two OFWs earn the same salary, work in the same country, and spend the same number of years abroad, why does one come home with multiple assets, while the other comes home with memories, remittances, and almost nothing to show for it? Think about that. Because it's probably not the answer you're expecting. Most people immediately say, one earned more. Not necessarily. One got lucky. Not really. One found a better investment. Sometimes. But that's not the biggest difference. The biggest difference is something most people never see. And once you see it, you'll never look at money the same way again. Here's the problem nobody talks about. Most OFWs think wealth is built by earning more. That's why every year they focus on salary increases. Higher position, more overtime. Better contract, better country, more income. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Income creates cash. Decisions create wealth. Those are not the same thing. I've met people earning 70,000 pesos a month who quietly built assets. And I've met people earning 250,000 pesos a month who are still starting over. Why? Because wealth is rarely a money problem first. It's usually a decision problem. Then there's the invisible trap. Let me show you something. Imagine an OFW who saves 30,000 pesos every month. That's 360,000 pesos a year. Sounds good, right? Now multiply that by 5 years. That's 1.8 million pesos. Here's the question. Where did it go? For many people, a portion went to emergencies. A portion went to family requests. A portion went to lifestyle upgrades. A portion stayed in the bank, losing purchasing power. Nothing wrong with those things. But here's what wealthy people understand. Money without direction disappears. Money with a system compounds. That's why some people can work abroad for 15 years and still feel financially stuck. Not because they didn't earn, because they never built. So I'll tell you the real estate lesson most people miss. Now let's talk about property. Most buyers ask, is now the right time to buy? Wrong question. The wealthy rarely ask that first. They ask, what happens if I don't? That's a completely different mindset, because every decision has a cost. Buying has a cost. Waiting has a cost too. The problem is most people only calculate one side. For example, a buyer sees a 5 million pesos property. He delays. 1 year passes. 2 years pass. The property appreciates. Construction costs rise. Land values rise. Rental rates rise. Now the same opportunity costs significantly more. The buyer thinks, property became expensive. But what actually happened? Time sent the bill. Here's something fascinating. The people who overthink property decisions are often the most intelligent, because intelligent people believe more information equals better decisions. Not always. At some point, information stops helping and starts delaying. I call this the research. You watch YouTube videos, read Facebook posts, join webinars, compare projects, analyze locations, watch market forecasts, and 6 months later, you know more, but own nothing. You gained information, but not clarity. And clarity is what moves your life forward. Wealthy people don't wait until they feel ready. They wait until the numbers make sense. There's a difference. Feelings change every day. Systems don't. Instead of asking, am I ready? Ask, can I afford this without financial stress? Does this fit my long-term goals? Would I still be happy with this decision 5 years from now? If the answer is yes, you may already be more ready than you think. The biggest risk isn't buying the wrong property. The biggest risk is spending 10 years waiting for certainty, because certainty never comes. Every successful investor you've ever admired made decisions without knowing exactly what would happen. What separated them wasn't confidence. It was having a framework, a process, a system. That's what creates conviction. So let's go back to the question we started with. Why do two OFWs with the same income end up with completely different financial futures? The answer isn't salary. It isn't luck, and it isn't timing. It's the quality of decisions repeated over years. Because wealth isn't built in one transaction. It's built in hundreds of decisions most people never notice. And if you're feeling stuck right now, maybe the solution isn't earning more. Maybe it's finally building a system that tells you what to do with what you already earn. That's how wealth starts. Not with money, with clarity.